Bam! It's time for a review. I have a special one here today, folks. So, old Bam, he's been on eBay, if you will. And I've been sniping like snipe on these auctions. And I highly recommend that if you're looking for some G.I. Joe classified, G.I. Joe modern, G.I. Joe retro, etc. As prices get more and more expensive out there in the big box stores, it's kind of like gotten me to, looking for the gems in the rough, if you will. But before we get into that, all my friends are captured still. Man, progress just goes slow here on the BAM Reviews channel in this Eternal Life Saga. I haven't heard from Good Storm Shadow in a long time. I wonder what's happening now. Poof!
You look like someone just told you Tim Burton's doing another Batman movie.
I failed. The codes were fake. Cobra played me like a rookie.
You're not a rookie. You're just emotionally compromised, which is kind of hot, actually.
Barbara, I'm serious. Batman trusted me, and I blew it.
And yet, here you are, brooding like a true Wayne. You're practically halfway to a promotion.
Beep, beep, beep. Ugh, it's Bruce. He wants to talk.
Don't worry, I'll handle this. Bat Dad, you're interrupting a rooftop pity party. What's up?
Barbara, I was wondering if you were free tonight. I've got the projector set up. Nor double feature.
Oh, you know I love a man with a tragic backstory and a popcorn machine. Tempting.
Seriously? Robin, I need you to reattempt the code recovery. Intel suggests Cobra's moving the real ones tonight. Great! Another chance to fail spectacularly. Ooh.
Can I come? I'll bring snacks and emotional support. Mostly for Robin, but I can multitask.
Beep, beep, beep. Hey, did someone say snacks? I'm in. Also, Barbara, you still owe me a rooftop dance-off.
You bring the moves, I'll bring the sass, and maybe a little jealousy from Robin.
This is my villain origin story, for sure. Focus, team. Robin, this is your mission. Barbara, Nightwing, support only, no distractions.
Define distraction, Bruce, because I'm wearing the red lipstick tonight.
Confirmed. I'm already distracted. I miss when Cobra was the worst part of my day. Well, I'm sure everything will be just fine. Alright, so like I said, I got a couple of eBay hauls here, and I'm going to go ahead and put the, the results of the hauls there. So that's the first one. Second one will be shortly after that, so you can go ahead and see kind of what I paid for, these particular things, the receipts. You know what I'm saying? People don't believe sometimes. But, if you're interested, you add it all together. Most of these figs that I got here standing in front of you, or sitting here in front of you, I paid around $8 or $9 doll hairs a piece, man. Bam, bam, bam. Sniping those auctions. That's what you got to do to get these things cheap. So let me go ahead and let me get these guys out of the bag lined up a little bit so we can take a look at what we're looking at here. All right, let's just go through these real quick before I line them all up. So this was mainly two auctions you're looking at here. The ones in the bags were in one auction, and then the ones out of the bags were generally in another auction. So this is Wolf Spider. You've seen him before. I was really interested in this particular auction because of Wolf Spider, because he's really hard to find. So that's one. Let's see what we got here. All right, next one out. This is G.I. Joe Classified Coral. This is one of the female figures from the line. I think she's a Night Force, maybe, perhaps. But, I was interested to have her. I'm pretty sure I already have her, but, hey, what are you going to do? All right, here is G.I. Joe Classified Night Force Tunnel Rat. I think he was a Walmart exclusive, maybe. We'll get him out of the bag in just a second. All right. So, you can't have enough I don't know if Grunt is actually a character. Y'all hit me up in the comments if Grunt is his own character. But I always kind of look at these guys as like the green shirts. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why they came with this helmet. So I got me another Grunt here. I like to army build. One of the reasons why I'm doing this whole eBay thing is, I did the 3.75 inch or the 25th anniversary GI Joe line, and when I was buying those, I bought one to rock, one to stock. You know what I'm saying? That's what pretty much everyone did, and I regretted the fact that I didn't buy more when they were sitting in the box stores. Right? Like I could have had a bunch of Vipers. I could have had a bunch of Troopers. Now I'm trying to army build these things, but I felt dumb because back then I could have and I didn't. So what I'm doing with the classified line now is I'm trying to pick up the army builders on cheap. You'll see some of those guys back there, like some of those bats on that second shelf right there. I picked those up on eBay too for good prices, but I'm trying to get them on the cheap so that I can kind of, come up with a solution for sins of the past. Know what I'm saying? All right, what we have here. This is pretty special. This is Firefly, right? Obviously, this is like the first, I don't know, V1 Firefly, if you will, from the classified line. And I already have this figure, but when you're picking up these lots, you got to kind of look at what's in it and see if the juice is worth the squeeze. And when I saw Firefly, Coral, the Wolf Spider, and some of those guys, I was like, oh yeah, because later on down the line, I could like sell one of these off, give it to Little Bam, and Little Bam actually he got a bunch of these figs already. So if you looked at the pictures earlier, you'll notice some guys missing. That's because Little Bam done pilfered them. All right. And here we've got Lieutenant Falcon. He's the one with the substance abuse problem in the DIC series. Oh, Vincent. This is Vincent in the G.I. Joe classified line. He had a really messed up face when he was released. Face only a mother would love. You know what I'm saying? So that's the end of the bagged Joes. Let's move on to the non-bagged Joes. All right, here's a Viper. I think that this is a Python Patrol Viper. I think it's Target exclusive, perhaps. And he ain't got no head. So, we'll throw something on there and, another trooper. Bam. All right, here we go. Crimson Guard. This one is the really light color version. So this is probably the retro carded version. And then we also have the original release version as well. You can see the difference in the colors there. The original release is more darker. Not too shabby. Remember, folks, $8 hairs a piece, $8 to $9 a piece. And one thing I should mention is that they're not all complete. So like this Crimson Guard here is missing some stuff that would be tacked to that bag. You'll see it on this guy over here. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. I've got Action Force weapons. I got all kinds of stuff. Moving right along. All right, so here's the Trooper Special. Bunch of these guys. Now, again, when you're looking at these auctions, you got to look for the value. You know what I'm saying? These two troopers are the re-released ones. Later on down the line, they came in the box. They're not the Target exclusives. So I got 2 of those, 3 of those. And again, you'll see missing accessories. This guy's missing his knife. And then this guy was in the line, which I was very interested in this one. So this one here, this is Cobra Island. Target exclusive Cobra Trooper. So bam, he's worth, I don't know, $40 maybe at this point in time alone. So, when I saw that just shot the value up of this particular lot here. All right, we got another Python Patrol. Another Python Patrol bat here. He's missing a lot of accessories, no backpack. He's got his pistol, which is nice. He's missing all the extra hands. At least he has the shield. You know what? That's okay. I've got accessories on the other guys. I can just, reuse. No problem. $9, folks. Like, what are you going to do? All right. Here we've got a Python Patrol officer, I believe. You don't see these guys that often. I don't think they get a lot of love, but I think they look awesome. There he goes. And look at this, old Snake Eyes, man. So when I saw this Snake Eyes, I was thinking that he was the cheapo version. You know what I'm saying? Like you go into the toy aisle and there's some GI Joes that had limited articulation, and they were like $9.99. I thought that was this one, but then I started playing with him, and I'm like, he's got some pretty impressive articulation. And then I realized this is the GI Joe movie Snake Eyes. So I was pretty impressed. I mean, I have him in box. I've never opened him, but he gets a pretty bad reputation for that particular movie, I guess you'd say. But playing with this guy, he put a sword in his hand. Yeah, it's not too shabby. He seems a little like restricted in the waist area here. I don't know, but you know what? For $9 picking him up, hey man, I am not gonna complain. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let me line these guys up, and then we'll look at them a little bit further. All right, so here's the first lot. This is the one with the figures that were semi-incomplete. Missing some accessories. One guy's missing a head. It don't matter to me. When you pay $8 to $9 for a figure here, man, you can't complain. And if you notice a trend amongst this first lot is that they're primarily all army builders. So, generally when you look at these lots, you'll see individual figures, characters, stuff like that. But you really want to look for the army builders, because I think, in my opinion, the army builders are the ones that carry more of the value than your traditional characters. Because collectors like myself, you know what I'm saying? We're going to want multiples of those army builders. So check out Lego Movie Snake Eyes, man, catching a beat down here by Pimp Daddy Destro. And that's one that I didn't mention at first. He was in the lot as well. I think you see him in the pictures, but he done got that gold head on there. He's pretty cool. Not too shabby. Now, an interesting thing I wanted to show here is that in another eBay haul, I got another Pimp Daddy Destro. And this guy here, he did not have a head either. So what I did was, if we compare these two, do a little bit of a size comparison here. What I did here between these two Pimp Daddy Destros is, does anyone recognize this head? Here, I'll get real close. If you recognize the head, put it down in the comments. Have you seen that head before? Oh, bam. Where'd he get that head from? Well, so if you said Masterverse Faker, you are right. So Faker in Masterverse, he has this alternate head that's like more robotic. So you know what? I just slammed that bad boy on Destro there. Now, you might ask, why would you have a silver-headed Destro? He's a gold Destro. Profit Director Destro. That's what Hasbro calls this guy. They call him Profit Director. But we all know, that this is Pimp Daddy Destro. Look at that leopard print. Man, he's a pimp if I've ever seen one. But anyway, back in the day, 2007, there was a G.I. Joe released in the 25th anniversary line that was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And I just happened to have them right here. You know what I'm saying? So what you're looking at here is, this is a 25th anniversary G.I. Joe Pimp Daddy Destro. And he's got a silver head. See that? Now, I was certain that this said Pimp Daddy Destro on it, but it just says Weapon Supplier Destro. Come on, Hasbro. We know what this guy is. So this was at the Comic-Con. You could get two different versions, right? Now, I didn't go to this Comic-Con in 2007, but you could buy these online. And I picked up the silver-headed Destro because, dude, back in the day, this dude was like $50 hairs just for him, right? So here he is, the silver-headed. And there's the card. A little bit of shadow there. Forgive me for that. But anyway, so then there was the gold-headed Destro, right? And the gold-headed Destro, they printed less of them than they did of the silver. So I got the silver. During the Comic-Con, I picked him up. Later on down the line, big bad toy store. I was browsing through the big bad toy store, and I could not believe it. Bam! They had the gold version, and this was up there for like years. I mean, this was, I don't even know, like 2000, in the 2015, 16, something like that. Big Bad Toy Store had it in stock, and it was, I think I paid $50 for this. So it was much cheaper, because if you would have bought him at the convention, he was like $100 or something. Really expensive. But here's the golden head, the gold head Pimp Daddy Destro. So, there's a history here. Look at the back. Let me see the other one. Does that have a silver head too? He does. Look at that. Not too shabby. Cool, man. Now, I'll never open these. They're just for my collection. I think it's really cool to get these, these convention exclusives. He's got some damage on the card. You can see there, it's a little warped a bit if you look at it. But you know what? I don't care. Man, don't care. All right, let's move right along. So there's a little bit of history with Pimp Daddy Destro that we got going on there. There you go. I now have them in 6-inch form in G.I. Joe Classified. All right, so we have a whole nother lot here to deal with. Let me go ahead and bust them out of the package, and then we'll take a look. All right, here we go for the other lot here. First up, we've got Tunnel Rat. This is Night Force Tunnel Rat. Man, tell me he does not have a ton of accessories. Look at all that stuff over his shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Not too shabby. These backpacks are an absolute nightmare. So I picked up him in this lot. He's going to fall over. Totally going to fall over. I got Firefly here. I didn't want to put his backpack on there, but he's got his backpack. And the drone. And a bunch of other accessories. We've got a Grunt. Quarrel. Now, this Quarrel figure, man, she's cool and all that, but her legs are just straight locked. Like, I cannot even bend them. So they're going to have to go into the drain. You know what I'm saying? To get her moving there. But I like the body. I think the body, it's a great female body figure. I like it. I'd like to have multiples, so they could be like female versions of Steel Brigade or something like that, or female troopers. She's pretty cool. And they also came with an alternate head for her, so you can just put that on there, and you've got yourself, a trooper, female trooper. Not too shabby. I think this is Scarlet's body. See some of the Scarlet stuff here. So she came with her bow as well. Here. And a bunch of bolts, crossbow bolts, and some extra hands, stuff like that. All right, moving right along. So now we have, all right, so this is the Night Force Wolf Spider. Move him over here to get a little bit of light. There you go. He looks pretty cool, man. His backpack likes to fall off as well. He was complete. He came with all the accessories. You get these auctions, $9 to $11 for these guys complete. That's more than 50% off MSRP if you're counting. Not too shabby. All right, so we also got Lieutenant Falcon here, Vincent, my boy Vincent. Now, this figure, when he was released, he came with this like god-awful head. But you know what? I don't mind it. His gun likes to fall apart. This piece here is like prone to falling off there. But it's whatever. His backpack falls off too. He's got a knife inside the backpack. He's complete. You can probably get him for really cheap right now, because I don't think people really like that figure. All right, last but not least, Grunt. Now, this is a good old army builder right here. He came with an alternate head as well, right here. So you must throw that on there, and you got yourself like a Steel Brigade type army builder. Pretty smart of Hasbro to release these guys with the alternate heads. They can turn them into army builders. Those people like me, man, that's what we're looking for, you know what I'm saying? Alright. Come on, Grunt. Grunt's totally gonna fall down. At least 2 times while filming this particular video, I lost everybody. So there's the old group shot. So this is kind of like my eBay haul. I've been sniping those eBay auctions, and I kind of wanted to do a nice big haul. All these characters are going to go into my collection, and if I have any of them not opened yet, they'll go into the to stock. One to rock, one to stock. If you know what I'm saying. So that's pretty much it for this one. I kind of beat this one up. If you notice back there, I'll just do a little wide out here. I got a bit of the lights going. Trying to get my light on, you know what I'm saying? So I got a Bam Bright video coming up soon. I might be filming that one next, perhaps. So if you're interested in what I'm doing to light some of my dioramas and stuff like that, take a look at that. I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks with these lights here. You see that light that's attached to the shelves there, the shelving there? Got a bunch of those, not too shabby. But yeah, I'm trying some new stuff with the lights. That's pretty much it for this video, though. Keep a look for my new ones. This has been a Bam review. I am Bam. I review toys on YouTube, such as G.I. Joe Classified, Modern, Retro, Mo2. You see Mo2 over there in the corner. Some G.I. Joe up there. Transformers over there. This is what I do on YouTube, and this has been another one. But for now, I'm Bam, and I'm out. Yo, Joe. Know what I'm saying?